The Formula Regional European Championship no longer presented to you by Alpine. It is now presented to you by the FIA. The Formula Regional European Championship once more returns. Hello and welcome to the Red Bull Ring here this weekend for what will be an amazing weekend. We've got 3 races, 2 qualifying sessions, and we've already had 3 practice and collective testing. So it's been a big weekend for the Formula Regional European Championship, and hopefully we can continue that heading into this weekend. We ended off our season just off 6 months ago, and it was the champion, Freddie Slater, who took the win, took both races in quite successive style. He's going to look to do it once more here. Well, let's just say he's done with this championship. He's done with the feeder series. He's up into F3, and we're going to be deciding a brand new champion here in 2026. 6 rounds over the next 6 months of racing. I think it's nearly 8 rounds to be 8 rounds. It should be a very interesting 8 rounds indeed to see who will become our champion. Some races with the new regulations for the Formula Regional European Championship by the FIA will have some 3-race formats. In the first weekend of the year, we'll have a 3-race format. Some brand new competitors as well. People like Alex Ninovich joining the European Championship, was very successful in the Middle East last year. This year we'll be hoping to back that up. A very strong driver, the Australian driver as well. Looking to see what he can do coming into this round. Like always, like we've seen in qualifying for the Formula Regional European Championship, it does not change in terms of how qualifying works. Group A goes out first, Group B then goes out second, and Group A will be half the grid. Group B will be the other half to start off the season. Feels good to be back streaming as well. Big weekend of streaming. 3 races, 2 streams today. There was going to be 3 streams today, but actually there might still be 3 streams today. I'm not completely sure about that one. But yeah, this is going to be quite an interesting weekend. Now, supporting DTM this weekend, so the track has been thoroughly rubbered in from what has been 2 practice sessions from DTM so far. Plus, of course, we've got GT Masters here this weekend, and of course GT4 Germany. So a lot of Pirelli rubber put down. New cars in terms of the regulations for 2026. Brand new cars. Still got the push to pass available in these cars, which will be used in the 30-minute plus 1 lap race. And you've got, I think, 5 opportunities to use it throughout the race. We don't know up here in the commentary box as to when the drivers are using that push to pass. It all comes down to when they want to use it. They can use it in defense, they can use it in attack. But of course, the new chassis, brand new cars, brand new tyres as well. First of all, we've got our first driver on screen, sticking with the orange livery like he did in the Middle Eastern Championship. Alex Abkazava was very successful. If you remember back to the Middle Eastern Championship, he won the first race of the season. Can he back that up here in the European Championship? We'll have to wait and find out. Now, like it normally has been, if you think back to last year, it's very much the first couple of laps within this session are sort of just a feel-up for what is to come in this session. But Alex Abkazava sets the first time of a 129.4 to put himself to the top of the session. Chi, now the Italian driver, up into first, 128.7, to set off on his first lap time. There he is, the Aston Martin coloured car. Gives off Aston Martin vibes, if you think of it. 9.5 minutes to go, though. in this session. Here he is, Reginol, the Italian driver. Sounds Chinese, but is Italian. Racing for Prema this year. Of course, plenty more of the drivers, plenty more of the cars that are still in this championship. We've got nearly a field of 22 drivers for 2026, which is very good to see. Most drivers, of course, coming up from the FITA series of the Middle Eastern Championship, coming up from go-karting. Alex Abgazava, his dream, as we see him on board right now, making his run out of through the right hander on the exit, putting the power down as he shovels the curb on the exit. And the first indicative lap time to beat, 128.4, set by Chi. We've also got in this first group, so we've got Chi, Abgazava, which we've seen already on screen, Roussel, Kayanoag, Maximilian Popov, the Italian F4, absolute insano, must I say. Was very good in the Italian F4 Championship, as Alex Abgazava now goes to the top of the session. Jules Roussel, of course, in this session, Kayanoag, Maximilian Popov, Alex Ninovich, as well in this. Olivieri, as well, Darren Gowda, Salim Hunter, King Nakamura Berta, is very much a championship runner. You would think he's on par for a championship in the European Championship. Of course, last year, he did take part in 1 or 2 rounds, was very good, was up inside the top 3. Expect him to be up there as well, along with Rashid Al-Daheri. Expect him to be up there. Dylan Gowder in his second year in the European Championship, but with a brand new car. So expect him to be up there. Jan Prelazowski as well, who was very quick in the Middle Eastern Championship. Kai Anurag, expect him to be up there. Practically every single one of these drivers expects the field to be quite tight in terms of the times, in terms of practically everything. Expect times to be tight. Dylan Gowder now goes to the top with a goes to second, 127.5, and is about a tenth off the pace so far. 127.4 is the time to beat. Alex Abgazava continues to go fastest through the middle sector, but of course these drivers are just building these tyres up, continuously building and building and building until you actually find that ideal sort of pace. The moment you find that ideal pace is the moment where it gets satisfying. Alex Abgazava now, 127.0, and goes 4 tenths faster than what he did before now. Chi, personal best through the first, second and third sector, goes 5th. Alex Ninovich, the Australian driver, very, very, very good in F4 cars. Expect him to be up there as well. Purple through the first sector. And the Italian F4 champion, King Nakamura Berta, personal best through the first and second sector. Ninovich looking quick immediately, but I think has backed out. No, he hasn't. He has not backed out. Continuing on with this lap, someone who's gone fastest through the first sector, and that is Reginol Chi, who's gone faster than anyone. King Nakamura Berta to the top now, 126.7. Alex Ninovich, can he go to the top? Yes, he certainly can by 1/10 of a second, 126.5. Chi now, purple through the first sector. Expect him to go faster once more. Dion Gowda and Albari in the pit lane at the moment. Newman Chi, purple through the first sector. 6.5 minutes to go. You've got 15 minutes to set a lap time in this session. King Nakamura Berta, purple through the first sector. Chi way off the road and into the gravel. That will affect his lap time. That much, as he's gone personal best through the first and second sector for the moment. Now makes his run through and into the right-hander. Fast right-hander of what will be turn 11. And now down into turn 12 and out the other side. Use the ripple strip on the outside. Can Chi now go to the top as we see Alex Abgazava lock up just up in front. Newman Chi now goes second, 126.6. Ninovich is going faster than anyone through the first sector though. It is purple, Papel. All the way through that first sector. Let's take a look now at what happened to Chi. Slightly off the road and kicks up a bit of gravel in the process. It was way off the road and actually put the car into the gravel. But luckily, he was able to keep it on the road. And then again, way up the curb on the exit of turn number 1. And then made his way up to turn number 3. And slightly locked the left front tyre up. Alex Ninovich now 128.9, about 2.3 seconds off the pace. That was definitely a cool down lap, more or less. Here, as we take a look here at Kai Anurag, completing a lap. Dylan Gowda now up into P5. Salim Hunter up at a P4. Alex Ninovich immediately looking quick, 128.4. But yet again, this is when the track is at its slowest. In the early part of this session, the track is quite slow. Not much rubber down from these Formula Regional cars. Of course, the track also might be a little bit slippery. Again, a lot of rubber down. But of course, DTM, they use their own special tyre. So who knows what sort of mold release is on that tyre, especially when you're on new tyres for a DTM car. Who knows how slippery the track might be for these cars. We take a look now at one of the Rotor Motorsport cars. This is Alex Ninovich sitting at the top of the session and is continuously going faster. He's purple through the first sector as he tries to recover the car on the exit. And 2/10 up now through the second sector to 38.1 now as he's 184 kilometers an hour through the left and right section of circuit. Maximilian Popov up at a P1 now and does a 128.0 to go to the top of the session. Very good lap indeed as now over the ripple strip goes Alex Ninovich. There's Kyanarag getting the car all sorts of sideways on the ripple strip. On the exit we'll see Alex Ninovich now go to the top purple first and second sector and he's gone 2/10 faster. 126. Good lap there from Ninovich. And he's put himself to the top of his session. 3.5 minutes to go. Popov, Chi, Olivieri, King Nakamura, Berta, Roussel, Hunter, Gauda. Separate your top 7 cars. But a good lap there. I think that might be it for Alex Ninovich. But he's now put himself to the top of the session, which is amazing to see for the Rotor Motorsport team. They put himself to the top of the session. As the cars continue to file their way around and try and find their own little bit of track to use. To try and, of course, build a bit of tyre temperature. Continuously now doing laps at this point in the session. Just over 12.5 minutes to go. Here we look at Jan Perezowski, who's not really set an indicative lap time in the early part of this session. 2.5 minutes to go. Jules Russell pops himself up into P7. So we now look at all the drivers file their way through out of the final and dip down into the final corner. And starts what will be their next lot of laps. King Nakamura Berta now goes to the top. 1-1. The time to beat the Prema driver. Very successful in Italian F4. Continues to be successful in 2026 of Freck. This year, King Nakamura Berta now making his run up through turn 2 and into turn number 3. Turn 2 not really a corner on this circuit. It's more or less a kink in the road. Dylan Gowda up at a P3. King Nakamura Berta goes faster than anyone through the first sector. Papel through the first sector. Watch out for Alex Ninovich as well, who's just starting a lap and has just crossed the line to start another lap. We'll see what he can do. His personal best through the first sector. Every single driver at this point is improving up to this point now as King Nakamura Berta uses all the track on the turn number 4. Now up through turn number 5 and once more applying the power. You can see the dust that was kicked up there by Dion Gauda. Sorry, that was Kyanarag as he tried to push the limits of the car. Purple through the first sector now. Flicking his way through, the dust being kicked up there from the curbstone. Up the other side, put the power down and now apply the power to the line. Out the other side, up the curb on the exit. What's that going to be? This is going to be an improvement for King Nakamura Berta. Purple through all 3 sectors. 125.7 has gone 3/10 faster than the Australian of Alex Ninovich. 125.7. Again, lap times continuing to tumble throughout this session as we go on. What an interesting session this has been. As drivers improving at the moment. There's not many improving as the tyres start to drop off. But King Nakamura Berta, with just under 30 seconds to go, might have bagged himself a provisional pole. 125.7. The time to beat in this session. 125.7 for pole position. Watch for that in the next session. Seconds to go now as the only other driver improving is Marcus Saita and Salim Hanna. Only real drivers improving. Chi now up to P4. Knocks off Dion Gala off for second row. Marcus Satar, the only person currently improving, down in position 15. The other driver's improving. Dion Gowder now moves himself back up into P4. Knock himself back onto the throne. Salim Hunter as well improving. Watch out for him. This could be an improvement and possibly move himself up onto the front row of the grid. Can he do so as he makes his run out of the final corner? Watch out for Marcus Sater as well. This is Salim Hunter as he makes his run to the line. Is this anywhere good enough? Up at a P5, 126.2. Not going to put him onto the front row, not at this point. As now we see the drivers make their run back to pit road. Salim Hunter moved himself up into P5 for the Prema team. But at the moment, the provisional pole position sits 125.7. And yes, it's by King Nakamura Berta.
Pop of Dion Gowder, and it looks like Salim Hunter has actually now dropped out. I don't know if it was a lap time deleted or your field complete. I've got to say, Nakamura, Berta and Ninovic, he had a bit of a gap over the rest of the field. It was 2.5 tenths quickest of anyone for Nakamura, Berta. Ninovic, the only driver who could get anywhere near him. For Olivieri, the rookie, very comfortably the quickest rookie in that one.
Emanuele Olivieri for the RSGP team in position 3, but it's King Nakamura Berta. Car 51 K&B provisional pole position for the first round here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Last year's Italian European Formula 4 champion, former World Kart Racing champion as well, with Forza Racing back in 2021 at Campillos in the south of Spain. King Nakamura Berta, pole position in the beautiful Austrian sunshine here at the Red Bull Ring. Qualifying 1 is done.
That is it then. Let's have a look back. You can see this, a very tricky corner for them, isn't it, coming up the hill, and that is where most of the fans are gathered. We watch Maximilian Popov playing with fire there. Then the 73 here going a little bit wide was Emanuele Olivieri, but did a very good lap right at the end. Lots of fans in. We're the only single-seaters here this weekend, so I think there's going to be a lot of interest on the Formula Regional European Championship this weekend. Now, the FIA Formula Regional European Championship. Whilst we're watching these highlights and we're waiting for Group B, Ian, you've commentated on all of the drivers coming through the single-seaters. What do you think about this step forward for this championship?
This is exciting, Chris. This is a brand new car. The previous car, we alluded to it, it served us well. But after 8 seasons of racing, we've got a faster, a lighter car, and the drivers, after racing in the United Arab Emirates Series, say it is much better to drive. Of course, the 100 seconds of roughly 30 horsepower extra. It is a lighter car. It is a faster car. Better handling. New teams, new drivers on the grid. There's a lot of excitement here in the paddock. Not to mention the fact, as you said, we are here with the first round of the incredible DTM German Touring Car Championship.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of interest around this as well. I've mentioned it already, but you look at where the alumni are from Formula Regional currently are in the world of motorsport, and you cannot miss them, really. The likes of F1, also going into the World Endurance Championship as well. It's
there you go. So we've got Chris McCarthy and Ian Silvestri up in the commentary box for the first time this year. But qualifying 1 Group B will be out on circuit in just moments, with just over 30 seconds until the light goes green at the end of the pit lane. As now this session will start to ramp up a bit more rubber down from these Pirellis, and we'll start to see a bit of a rhythm. And what will happen now in Group B, one driver that will be out in this next session, Thomas Doltramar, very successful in the Italian F4 Championship, wants to be again more successful in this championship here into 2026. See what he can do this weekend. But now the green light is on at the end of the pit lane. We've got drivers now making their way out onto the circuit. Well, I say that, about 3 of them make their way out onto the circuit in the early part of this session as they try and rotate through these Pirellis. With just over 15 minutes of session to try and put a lap time down. See if that can pay any dividends for these drivers. as they make their way out of pit road and onto the front straight of what is. It is very much a long straight here at the Alpine Mountains of the Red Bull Ring, home to Red Bull this weekend. Speaking of Red Bull, we've got a few Red Bull cars, of course, in the DTM Championship as well. Red Bull livery cars, like Max Verstappen is here this weekend as well, so might see him in a few shots throughout the weekend as he goes for the Red Bull Ford cars in the DTM Championship that is here this weekend, the German Championship as well. Whilst these drivers get their tyres up to temperature, let's head it up to the world feed of Ian Sebastri and Chris McCarthy.
Good already, and the drivers out there fighting to become the first FIA Formula Regional European champion.
Powered by an Autotechnica tuned Toyota engine.
That's an exciting step for the series as well. Okay, let's go through the drivers taking part in Group B.
The second group of qualifying Giovanni Maschio back for a fourth season with RPM Sebastian Weldon. Second generation racer, the British American from Florida in the United States of America. Munoz, as you mentioned, from the French F4 series. Kai Darianani. So many of the South Americans waking up earlier this morning. Bom dia! It is Gabriel Gomez do Brasil. Rashid Al-Dahedi, already a race winner in the United Arab Emirates Series. Watch out for Reno Franco, car 69. Thomas. We just saw Stolchmanis. Andrej Kostic, the Serbian. Matteo Giacardi. Yuki Sano. Andrea Dupe from France. Ania Frey. Riza Suwarathan. And from Kuwait, Sakir Al-Morsheji for the G4 Racing Team.
Yeah, very exciting grid. Some great new names in there as well. You mentioned it already. Yuki Sano coming over from Super Formula Lights. Gabriel Gomez, who had 2 second-place finishes across F4 last year. Really exciting young talent. You mentioned Weldon as well. Reza Siwerthan coming over from GB3. It is a grid stacked with talent. If we look back from, I think, 2019 to now, if we were going to compare the others, I'd say this is the most wide open grid there's ever been, not only because it's a new car, new engine, new teams, but there's so many new faces into this year. I'd say that this championship, a Formula Regional Championship, has never been more wide open than this.
A new format of racing as well. 3 races here this weekend. We did have that back in the beginning of 2019. That was with the previous car. So we look at Andrea Dupe goes through. The French driver for the Dutch Van Amersfoort Racing Team, who were in the news in the past few weeks for, well, other reasons. We'll concentrate on Frank for the moment. Andrea Dupe coming across the line to start his first flying lap. Great to see MP Motorsport back. Rodin Motorsport, Prema Racing, they've won all but one of the Formula Regional Championships as well. G4 Racing, they're on track at the moment.
Yeah, great to have them with us as well. Had success in this with the likes of Alessandro Giusti, who took them to the top step of the podium on a couple of occasions. In terms of the new format, you said you know we've seen things like that before. You're a fan of what we got here? Yeah.
We'll see tomorrow. We'll see this weekend. It's certainly going to make it interesting.
I slightly put you on the spot there, but yeah.
Certainly the race to qualify 12th, effectively pole position for race 2. That's going to be a cracking race. I'll join you in pit lane for that one, Chris.
Yeah, and it's going to be great to get the reaction down from the drivers, not just the drivers, but the teams as well, and get up close and personal with the cars and the drivers when they are lined up on the grid seconds before they're about to go live.
Chris, one interesting thing to note is we cannot underemphasize the importance of this new car being lighter and better handling. Previously, it was at times like 2 trucks trying to pass each other down the freeway. Now, with the power race mode as well, it is a lighter car, it is a better handling car, and that should equate to better racing throughout this year's series.
And that's what all the teams, all the drivers want. They want a car you can really go racing in, especially when you get to a track like this. It looks really, really good, I have to say. The car, bigger tyres as well on there. So plenty for the drivers to work with, and I think it is a step in the right direction for these drivers who are ultimately looking to graduate to Formula 3. I'd say this definitely a step in the right direction.
Andrea Kostic is on a lap at the moment, about to complete it. We look at Sano from Japan.
Yes, Yuki Sano. Great to have him in the championship this season. We've had lots of exciting drivers come over from Japan racing with us, and Yuki Sano, the latest of them. We're just going through the warm-up phase, if you like. If you wonder why I'm not really paying attention to the times, we're still 4 seconds away from what Keen Nakamura-Berta is. If you're new to Formula Regional, this is quite often the case where they just take their time getting up to speed and then they'll nail it to the flag. It looks like we are getting a little bit closer. Let's see them over the line this time, but the lap times ultimately, Ian, will just get quicker and quicker. So you have to look after your tyres in a sense so that you're in good shape when you get to the end.
Still 9 minutes remaining as you look at Andrea Dupé racing for the Van Amersfoort Racing Team. Incidentally, ironically, actually raced for the Prema Racing Team in Italian F4 and WSK and FIA. Well karting as well. Comes across the line with a 1:27.341. Just remember it, Keen Nakamura-Berta in the first session, a 1:25.765. Kai Darianani on her lap. Watch out for Rashid Al-Dahedi. Back for another crack at the Formula Regional European Championship. The Mercedes AMG Junior from the city of Abu Dhabi in the magnificent United Arab Emirates. Rashid Al-Dahedi in car 71. As you look at Kai Darianani going on through, and Sebastian Weldon for MP Motorsport.
How about this? Sebastian Weldon stepping up from F4 when he came over from the...
Indeed, he did. Sebastian Weldon, watch out for this man. He is an absolute rocket when he wants to be. And I'm going to guess he's going to be an even bigger rocket of a driver coming into this season. Sebastian Weldon now, P3, 1:27.094. Position 3 at the moment, but of course, the time to beat, 1:25.765. The time to beat for pole position for Keen Nakamura-Berta with 7.5 minutes to go. Again, this is a 15-minute session. You get 1 set of tyres for qualifying. Each and every single team gets 1 set of the Pirelli rubber. Of course, the Pirellis are a little bit bigger this year, so you have more rubber going down onto the road, which means, of course, more grip out of the tyre. It's a larger tyre, meaning you get more grip. 2 compounds of tyres, unlike you would see in DTM, where you've got the soft tyre and the medium tyres. You've only got a hard Pirelli tyre, which takes probably 3, 4, 5 laps to get into the window, and then, of course, you've got to use that window quite astonishingly. 1:26.7 now, the time from Andrea Kostic. Andrea Dupe does a 1:26.4, so about 7/10 off the pace already. We're already on the pace here. This could be a quick session as we look here at the Asmarino driver of Rashid Al-Daheri. Very good in the Middle Eastern Championship. Is he going to prove that now? 1:26.3. He's now only about 6 or 7 tenths off the pace. Al-Mostri making his run through. The Asmarino driver, personal best through the first sector. Reno Freidkott now goes to the top. Kai Darianani, the British driver, will be racing in the British F4 Championship when, of course, they get to Silverstone, supporting the Formula 1 Grand Prix. Confirmed that just a few months ago. Andrea Dub, the going personal best in purple through the first and second sector. Sebastian Weldon improving through the first sector as we take a look here at the VAR driver of Charles Jupp as he makes his run to the line. What's the lap going to be for Jupp? It's P4, 1:26.4, and only about 6 tenths off the pace of KNB, Keen Nakamura-Berta. For the moment, the time to beat to put you on the front row, 1:26.1, of course, set by Alex Ninovic. That would to put you on the front row. Kai Darianani making his run to the line, 1:26.5. That's going to put him about P7, P8 on the grid. Reza Severwergen, as he makes his run to the line, and so does Reno Freidkott. As we take a look at that, the VAR driver making his run to the line, Reza Severwergen, where can he go up at a P3 now? 1:26.3. Reno Freidkott, 1:26.0. That will put him on the front row of the grid. Watch out for Rashid Al-Daheri. And, of course, Sebastian Weldon, who is flying at the moment through the first and second sector. Watch out, though, for Rashid Al-Daheri. Where does Sebastian Weldon go? P2, 1:26.0. 0.064 of a second off the pace. Gomez as well. Watch out for the Brazilian driver. Position 10 at the moment. Expect him to improve as we take a look at a replay of someone going very wide. That looks to be Rashid Al Tahiri off the road, kicking up dust in the process. As we look now, look at the dust imploding from the rear end of that car. If you go offline at any point throughout the race, throughout the weekend, you will be dead. You will be off the road, let me tell you that much. As we take a look now on his second lap. So that was not Rashid Al Tahiri. Who was that? That was Al Moshri spinning. It did have the As Heat colours, of course. Joining the As Heat team is Sak Al Moshri. But quite unfortunately now, has pulled himself into the pit lane. Those tyres would not be feeling... They'd be feeling quite second-hand, if I'm being completely honest with you, after a spin like that. If you've got little sharp bits of gravel, it might have punctured the tyre, to be completely honest with you. Rashid Al Tahiri, he makes his run out of the final corner, using all the ripple strip on the exit. Rashid Al Tahiri, can he make his pole position debut? No, he cannot. 1:26.1. But again, you've got 3.5 minutes to go. He actually lost a bit of time in that final sector. And this might be the reason why. Big opposite lock moment as he made his run out of the final corner. He was possibly a bit just a bit too far up the curb as he spat the car sideways. Thomas Ultramarines, part of the Prema team. Nearly a 6-car Prema lineup. So very much another chance for a championship. They've won the past 5 teams championships as Prema. But of course that was broken last year by the very successful Rodin Motorsport team. That was broken by them. Very successful in their own right. So is Prema, though, the Italian team. Very much known in the Italian F4 Championship. In 2026, though, of course, you still do have that push to pass. You do have a race mode now, where these cars will get that extra bit of boost within the car. Race mode coming into 2026, of course, you've also got the push to pass, so you've got loads of power underneath you. Kai Darianani now making his run to the line. 1:26.1, that is P7 on the grid. Wow! The top 7, the top 9 separated by 0.19 of a second. It is close out there. Very close indeed. Take a look here at Charles Munoz, the French driver, making his run to the line. Is this going to be any point of an improvement? No, it will not. But you can see the pile up of traffic here as drivers try and find their own space on this circuit. Thomas Dolchmanes now, the Austrian driver, on his home turf. Can he grab himself a pole position? His personal best through the first sector. Not so much improving through the second sector as he makes his run to the line now. P4 1:26.2. Yeah, good first couple of opening laps here for Thomas in the Prema team. Rashid Al Tahiri, personal best through the first sector. So he's now improving. Front cut as well improving. Personal best through the first sector. Is there any chance of anybody beating K&B? You get 3 points for pole position. So it can put Rashid Al Tahiri, K&B on the championship lead already. Who can beat him though? 1:25.7 is the time to beat. Here is Rashid Al Tahiri, currently sitting at the top of the session. Not improving on his own personal best. He doesn't look to be anywhere close to K&B at the moment. Of course, the last laps will be the best laps you will see within this session. As we take a look, Rashid Al Tahiri not improving on that time. 1:26.1. No improvement for the moment. The only person that's close to improving is Giovanni Maschio, and he's in P15. I wouldn't think there'd be much of an improvement for the moment. As we see now, Renault Francot trying to move to the left-hand side of the circuit. That's Alexander Munoz. Rashid Al Tahiri improving through the first sector. He's gone purple. He's flying out there at the moment. As he makes his run up into Slosh Gold. And out the other side of turn 4. Here he is. So that was car 3. That was Al Moshri. As he makes his run up through turn 3. Rashid Al Tahiri now. He is improving and he's flying through the first sector. Purple. 2 tenths faster. And he's about a tenth off. He's gone a tenth faster than anyone else. He's nearly half a second up here, Rashid Al Tahiri. This could be challenging for pole position for K&B. Reginol Harry, can he bag a pole position here in 2026? That would be absolutely huge for his championship hopes. Reginol Harry way up the curb on the exit as he tries to improve on this time. Is it any good for pole position? 125.9, no it isn't. And he's still 2/10 off. Still 2/10 off the pace. What a lap though.
Times now coming in. Weldon will be second at the moment. Then it's Frankot. We're just waiting for Stolch and Marnis. Can he play a part in rearranging those top 3 positions in this group? No. Munoz is over the line. Sewerdon is over the line. That. The checkered flag has been taken by all but Giovanni Maschio. Rashid Al-Dahiri quickest in Group B, but it confirms that Keen Nakamura Berta will start the first race from pole position.
The now Williams F1 Junior Academy driver, the British-born Japanese-Slovakian, last year's Italian and E4 European champion, Keen Nakamura Berta. As we look at Thomas, who was sideways, spectacular from the Latvian.
Wow. Oh, and there we see the...
that was Sakir again.
Wow, he didn't enjoy that corner in that session. Sakir Al-Maserji. Finishes down in 14th.
Did well not to turn it around and put it into the wall.
Yeah.
Rashid Al-Dahiri, fastest in the second group, qualifying with a 125.96A from Sebastian with a 26.015. Reno Frankot with a 26.038. But it's Keen Nakamura Berta from Group 1 who takes pole position for the first round of the FIA Formula Regional European Championship here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. On your screen, Rashid Al-Dahiri, fastest in Group B.
Yeah, and with that, Keen Nakamura Berta will take the first.
So, Rashid Al-Dahiri, fastest in this session over Sebastian Weldon, Reno Frankot, Thomas Ultramanes, Alexander Munoz, Raza Severwergen, Kai Dalianani, Gabriel Gomez down in P8, Andre Dub, Matteo Gagadi in position 10. As we flick the page over, Gabriel Gomez, though, expect him to make his way through the grid. Of course, we've got Thaga Al-Moshri in position 14, and Giovanni Maschio, the Italian driver, in position 15. About a second off the pace, though. So, a bit more of pace to be found. But RSGP, the defending team's champions, have just defended themselves a pole position.
Regional European Championships. The grids are now set for the races tomorrow. Make sure you join us at 10:20.
So, Group 1, Keen Nakamura Berta, Alex Ninovic, Emmanuel Elevrieri, Maximilian Popov, Zen Ruchi, Dion Gauda, Alexander Abkazava, Salim Hanna, Jules Vassell, Francisco Madico in position 10, the Portuguese driver. 8/10 off the pace. But yeah, there's the pole position time, 125.7. Alex Ninovic will be about P5, P6 on the grid. Miguel Acosta as well, the Brazilian driver. And then, of course, we've got Rahim Albadi in position 15, 1.2 seconds off the pace. And we'll be starting dead stone cold last in race number 1. So, how the races work, though, we've got race 1 and race 2. Race 1 will decide race 2. And then, of course, we've got a qualifying session to decide race 3, which is more or less the feature race for 2026. So, that is it for the FIA FREC Championship, the FIA Formula Regional European Championship for today. Qualifying 1 complete. We'll see what happens come round 1, race 1, in just over 6 hours' time for here at the Red Bull Ring. We'll be on air from 6:15 for the pre-show for the Formula Regional European Championship. We'll be on air in just over 6 hours. Until then, it's bye-bye.
We're here to bring you all the action. That is the grids for tomorrow. Set.